Honestly, I thought I had some mental issues before I saw this movie. Tonight's review is on Sleep Tight, which is a Spanish film with subtitles, and there's no English dubbing available for this film that I know of, so if you don't speak Spanish and you don't like reading subtitles, then you might not care for this movie. This film follows a man named Caesar who is working as a doorman for this apartment building. And on the surface, Caesar is very professional, very polite with the tenants of the building. But underneath, he has this psychological condition which prevents him from feeling the emotion of happiness for whatever reason, no matter what has gone on in his life, regardless of how positive things have been for him, he has always been unable to feel happy. Meanwhile, there's a woman named Clara who is living in the apartment building that Caesar is working in, and she's the type of woman who, regardless of what's going on in her life, is always smiling, always positive, always look on the bright side of life. I do apologize for anyone who cringed in that moment. There will be no more singing in this review, I assure you. Anyhow, if this movie were in any other genre, you might suspect that this would be the makings for some cheesy love story, but as it is, Caesar has this very sick obsession with Clara where he is steadily working to unravel her and to bring her down to his level. This movie starts off on an incredibly unsettling note, and it really never lets up as you learn more about Caesar and how far he's willing to go to tear apart this woman's life. And really, there's just no sense of justice to what he's doing, even in the most twisted sense of the word. There's no point where you find out that Clara is secretly the devil or that she's done something horrible in the past to possibly deserve this. She's honestly the most likable character in the whole movie. On the other hand, Caesar is really a conundrum of a character. I mean, he is this very despicable and unlikable villainous character. Like, there's one point where he's talking to this very sweet old woman who's always been very kind to him, and throughout this monologue that he has, he just completely breaks her on an emotional level. That was the point in the movie where I officially said to myself, you know what? This guy can go fuck himself. On the other hand, I couldn't help but feel some small sense of sympathy for the character of Caesar. As incredibly unlikable as he is, he's almost like Norman Bates, or more accurately and a little more obscure, the character that Peter Lorre played in the movie M, where he may act like a dick, but who's to say that he really has a choice in the matter when he has this flaw in his brain? Uh, People with mental illness don't really choose to act the way that they do, especially if they go undiagnosed their entire lives, which is likely the case with Caesar. Outside of that, there's really not much else for me to say about Sleep Tight. One other thing that I'd like to mention is that this came recommended by one of my subscribers here on YouTube, the same guy who in the past has recommended Killing Words, uh, The House at the End of Time, and The Body, which is my personal favorite out of the films he's recommended so far. Sleep Tight is yet another great example of the top-notch thrillers that have been coming out of Spain. If you're interested in seeing a really psychologically unsettling film with a very well-written villainous character, then Sleep Tight does come recommended. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I hope you all have a good one.